I just want to let everybody know, in full disclosure, I don't know if I'm going to eat on the podcast, but when my food gets here, I will eat.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I got to eat.
You can be late. You can eat. You own the fucking building.
I know.
You
I
mean?
just hadn't eaten
fix
since.
that.
I had some biltong a minute ago, but I haven't eaten since yesterday. So I'm like, and I'm fat. You know, you can't just go without it. You can, but
Yeah, you need fuel.
you gotta have some fuel.
You got to
It
stop
seems
for
like
gas.
you would have extra to burn. Like it.
I got plenty extra to burn, but it's the habit, and it's the addiction to food is what you're fighting.
Okay.
You're a big dude,
Yeah.
right? Like one of my sons is a big dude, and he has to intake more than the rest.
Think
of us.
about it like, do you smoke cigarettes?
No.
All right. Or any other thing you might not be able to talk about. But cigarettes is a good one because I think nicotine in cigarettes is vastly more addictive than, say, marijuana.
I used to
right?
dip.
Yeah, you go same thing, right? Or a similar thing, right? But it's vastly more addictive, and I liken food cravings. I'm not making an excuse, but it's very, the sugar and the bullshit. Sugar is more addictive than nicotine, right?
Oh, dude, when I cut out sugar, I feel so much better, and then as soon as I get a taste of it, I'm all the way back in,
Yes.
baby.
Yeah.
It's an evolutionary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've evolved to crave calories, so we don't starve to death.
So what he's saying is I just
Sweet.
evolved better than you guys.
Sugary foods and high-fat foods are really tasty.
Glad
to
the
us.
truth is coming out today.
Oh yeah. Are you
But
still?
those are bad for you. So why would your body as an
Well,
evolution?
it's not bad if you're trying to not starve to death, though.
But
'Cause you're trying to
which
store,
is
you're
what
trying
your
to
body
store
is
energy.
trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still doing the carnivore diet thing?
Let me just be straight right here on what our viewership is so large. I'm gonna call it national TV.
That's right.
National YouTube and podcast. But no, man, I was doing great, and then the month of September, I checked out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
Yeah,
I had
I'm right
one
there.
weekend. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy it. It was actually one meals where it started on like a Friday night.
It's always how it
exactly
goes.
what you were saying about one piece of sugar, and then you're like, bam, I'm back in.
Yeah, and so I'm like,
Yeah.
I ate it, and I was like, you know what? I'm owed this weekend. I don't know why people think that they deserve things because you just, you don't. But I was like, I'm going to take this weekend. And then basically like 5 weeks later, September's a 5-week month, I believe. So 5 weeks later, I'm like, holy shit. And I gained a lot of weight. So I am proud to say I am back on, but I'm doing I'm more like keto style. It's mainly carnivore, but I am doing some vegetables and things. So.
I've done.
I do intermittent feasting.
Yes.
We just eat too much.
Yes.
I'm right there with you. I do well with like I was on the keto thing for a while, and then I was sugar free, and then it's vegetarian, and it's like all those things together. I did that for like a year, and it's fucking like want to blow my goddamn brain out.
Yeah.
And then I got stressed a couple weeks ago.
I'm on the lead diet now.
All you can eat.
Which we don't
And all
recommend,
you can
by the
eat is
way.
only one. I got stressed, and I was like, well, I was telling Neil this the other day. I just been drinking soda and eating candy and stuff, and it's like, it's better than what I used to do is just like, fuck it, I'm just going to take a bunch of pills and drink till I don't feel nothing. Now I'm just like, I'm going to eat some Swedish fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all right. I'll get back to
It's
it.
a healthy alternative. What's the guy's name? He's the Stanford professor or whatever that you send me. That he's very, very scientific about his research. What's his name?
About food?
No, about everything. I'm trying to remember his name. He's a Stanford
Frank?
professor. Yeah, it's Frank. It's right now. Now I gotta look.
Frankie
Oh,
Stans.
Frank.
Dr.
Maybe
Know-It-All?
he's- Yes, definitely a know-it-all.
What
Definitely.
is he? What's his big thing?
His shtick, science-based. He wants to provide education, Ivy League education, for free to the masses. So it has nothing to do with Stanford. I'm probably butchering this, but let me just glance real fast and find it because now it's gonna bother me. This important shit right here we're talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he has a thing about essentially about endorphins, and let me just do that here. Anyway, this is Andrew Huberman.
Oh, yeah.
So who is Andrew Huberman? Why would you
Yeah,
send
tell me
him the
about
link?
Huberman. real
Andrew
quick.
Huberman. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just a brilliant scientist. But he does a lot of research on sleep and stuff like that, too.
Is that his main focus?
Man,
I'm not
everything-
really sure
Neuro,
what is
neuro.
Yeah, he's
neuroscience.
a neuroscientist. That's right. Yeah, so anything involving the brain.
So what you just talked about, what we were just talking about, to me, talks about what's the chemical release when you're high or you're having a good time, or there's good fit.
Dopamine.
Serotonin.
Dopamine.
Dopamine. So here's the thing. So we're all addicted to dopamine,
Yeah, there
right?
is. Yeah.
So we are getting. I like that. Look at the stepping up over here. Look at this. Goddamn professional in this podcast.
But he'll do a series on different topics. So he'll do like he did a big series on sleep where he goes really in depth on the importance of sleep, what it does, what the different sleep cycles do, how much you should sleep, and then he'll also go
based
into
on age or weight or what, like
everything.
Yeah,
very in depth. And then he'll also do like he's done specials on or series on health, like diet and stuff like that.
He crams more scientific information, more facts, more information into a small window than I've ever seen anybody do.
Yeah,
and he's doing it in what I consider a digestible manner.
And he's in really good shape too.
Yeah,
he's very healthy, fit, highly intelligent.
But so he talks about dopamine and how we train ourselves to get a really big dopamine instead of like loving a process and getting a dopamine fix from a process. We get the biggest dopamine fix from the reward.
It was actually Andrew Huberman who said the thing about people reward themselves from the idea instead of actually the execution.
You guys talked about that a little bit last week.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
So like the way comedians fucking do it, right? Like we have good ideas, like, oh, this idea, let's make it, and then we never make it. And a lot of times it's because we get the dopamine hit just from the idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's your whole career.
That is.
It really is. It really is. That's why you love jokes so much. Every time I tell him something, he comes up with some dumb pun. He feels good, and then he shuts up for a while.
Yeah. Then I'm like, you're on the lead diet. Okay, back to just.
That's funny.
But yeah, so he talks about us retraining ourselves to, one, enjoy the process, complete the process. But he made a good analogy, and I'm not really huge into sports, but this one I think will resonate with everybody. He made the analogy of the football player, the NFL player that's trained his whole life that still celebrates the touchdown. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he's getting a dopamine fix from that celebration, when instead he should celebrate the execution of the process. So you celebrate the fact that you caught the ball and you ran with it, or whatever your execution was, and that should be celebrated every time. But the actual act of scoring a touchdown is just how the world keeps score. Mm-hmm. Really, he's just doing what he was trained to execute to do. So, like, you shouldn't...
It's funny, I used to have a joke that basically said just that. Where
Really?
It was like a really old, way back in the day. Like, it was like... Because it annoyed me the way Shaq would, after every dunk, would be like, whatever. Morton Hanks duck walking and be like, that's your job. You're supposed to dunk the ball. You're 8 feet 10.
You know what? Right? Shut the fuck up, Tom. Because you don't do anything. You know what I mean?
I know.
I love that you complain like that they're celebrating a thing they did. If you did any of those things, we couldn't stop you from fucking.
Of course, that was the joke. I mean, like, I don't do that when I was like a pizza delivery guy. I'm like, here's your pizza, and I'm like all over their lawn, like, yeah, look at all those pepperonis. Fucking dancing with me on.
Well, now Shaq owns a Papa John's, so he's probably putting pepperonis and all the time.
That's hilarious. Actually, don't they have the Shaq pizza now?
Shaq-a-roni.
Shaq-a-roni.
It's a Shaq-a-roni. So he stepped in and bought a bunch of Papa John's a while back, and now he's kind of taking the lead on a lot of it.